There's one undeniable truth in life. The roles between parents and children change over time. You've spent your whole life loving, sacrificing, and guiding your children. But one day, you realize they no longer listen to you. Your advice is ignored. Your opinions are dismissed. Sometimes, you even feel like more of a burden than a respected figure in the family. And that feeling? It hurts. But don't lose hope. You're not alone. Many parents go through this. But the good news is, you can regain their respect without arguments, without resentment. In this video, we'll help you understand why your children have changed, and, most importantly, share 6 powerful strategies to restore your position without conflict. Make sure to watch until the end, because choosing the right approach can completely transform your relationship. Before we begin, if you find this content valuable, hit subscribe to Elder Minds and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a life-changing video. Now let's dive in. Part 1. Stop seeking approval from your children. The hidden trap of seeking approval. Many parents believe that by always pleasing their children, they will earn their respect. They say yes to everything, avoid conflict, and go out of their way to accommodate every request. But here's the truth. The more you try to win their approval, the more they take you for granted. Parents who constantly seek their children's approval often find themselves in a frustrating cycle. They put their needs aside, sacrifice their personal time, and make every effort to keep their children happy, only to be met with indifference or even a lack of appreciation. This can be deeply hurtful, leading to feelings of resentment and confusion. But why does this happen? It all comes down to human psychology. When something is given too freely, it is often undervalued. This applies to material possessions, but also to respect and authority. If you act as though your children's approval is essential to your self-worth, they will subconsciously believe that they are in a position of power over you. Respect doesn't come from giving in. It comes from standing firm. Your opinions, decisions, and boundaries matter regardless of their approval. The power of boundaries. One of the biggest mistakes parents make is failing to set clear boundaries. Many believe that being available at all times and always saying yes to their children is an act of love. However, healthy boundaries are one of the greatest gifts you can give to both yourself and your children. Boundaries teach responsibility, self-respect, and respect for others. When children know where the limits are, they learn accountability. They understand that their actions have consequences. And most importantly, they recognize that their parents are individuals with their own needs and expectations. Here are some powerful ways to start setting boundaries. Learn to say no without guilt. You don't have to justify every decision you make. No is a complete sentence. Establish house rules and enforce them. Whether it's about visiting times, financial support, or how they speak to you, make sure they know your expectations. Stop over-explaining. You don't owe anyone a long explanation for why you need personal space, financial security, or emotional peace. Prioritize your own needs. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. A strong, self-assured parent sets an example of confidence and self-respect. The story of Margaret. Reclaiming her voice. Margaret was a strong, independent woman until she became a mother. Over the years, she put her children's needs above her own, always compromising, always giving in. At first, she believed this was what a good mother should do. She said yes when she wanted to say no. She lent money when she could barely afford it. She adjusted her life according to her children's schedules and requests. At first, she thought this would make them appreciate her more, but as time passed, she realized something heartbreaking. Her children no longer valued her opinions. They made decisions without consulting her. They dismissed her concerns. And worst of all, she felt invisible. Then, one day, Margaret had a realization. She had lost her own voice. She decided to stop seeking their approval and start asserting herself. Step 1. She set clear boundaries. When her son asked for financial help for the 3rd time in a month, she calmly said, "I love you, but I cannot continue giving you money like this. You need to take responsibility for your finances." Step 2. She reclaimed her personal time. Margaret used to drop everything the moment her children needed something. Now, she scheduled her time and made it clear when she was available. I can help you, but you need to plan in advance. Step 3. She stopped fearing their disapproval. Margaret knew that standing her ground might upset her children at first, and it did. But over time, something remarkable happened. Her children started listening again. They no longer dismissed her words. They began to show appreciation. They even started asking for her opinion. Respect starts with you. If you don't value your own opinions, why should anyone else? Breaking free from approval-seeking behavior. If you find yourself constantly seeking approval from your children, it's time to break the cycle. Here's how. Acknowledge the pattern. Be honest with yourself. Do you go out of your way to make them happy, even at your own expense? Shift your mindset. Respect is not given freely. It is earned through self-respect and firm boundaries. Practice self-care. Invest in your own happiness and well-being. When you are fulfilled, you will not seek validation from others. Embrace discomfort. At first, standing your ground may feel uncomfortable. Your children may resist, but over time, they will adjust. Surround yourself with supportive people. Seek out friendships and communities that reinforce your self-worth. Many parents spend years trying to please their children, hoping for love and appreciation in return. But real respect is not won through constant approval seeking. It is built through confidence, self-respect, and firm boundaries. Margaret's story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to reclaim your voice. Stay with us, because in the next section, we'll reveal another powerful strategy to reshape your relationship with your children. And if this message resonates with you, don't forget to hit subscribe to Elder Minds. Your support helps us create more valuable content just like this. Part 2. Don't argue. Lead with action. Why arguing won't earn you respect. Many parents believe that if they can explain their point clearly enough, their children will understand and change their behavior. But in reality, arguments often lead to more tension, more distance, and less respect. Remember, arguing doesn't make your children respect you. It only teaches them to tune you out. Logic is not as important as how you assert yourself. Constant debates drain your authority and create more frustration. Think about this. If someone keeps trying to convince you to see things their way, would you respect them more? Or would you feel annoyed and want to disengage? The same applies to parents and children. Respect isn't about who wins an argument. It's about how you handle yourself in difficult moments. How to earn your child's respect without arguing. Stay calm. When your child says something disrespectful, hurtful, or challenging, your first instinct might be to react immediately. But that's the trap. Pause. Take a deep breath. Hold your silence for a few seconds before responding. A calm parent makes their child wonder, why aren't they reacting like they usually do? This moment of silence forces them to think twice. Be firm and direct. No over-explaining. When you over-explain, your child sees it as an opportunity to argue. Don't say, I can't lend you money this time because I have bills to pay, medications to buy, rent to cover. Instead, say, I can't lend you money this time, and stop there. Your child may try to challenge you, but if you remain firm without engaging in a debate, they will learn that you mean what you say. Lead by example, not just words. One of the most powerful ways to regain your child's respect is to live the values you want them to learn. If you want your child to listen to you, be a good listener. If you want your child to respect you, respect yourself. If you want your child to take responsibility, be firm in your principles. When your words match your actions, your child has no choice but to respect you. Frank's story. Transforming his relationship with his son. Frank, a retired teacher, had a strained relationship with his son, Michael. Whenever they disagreed, they argued. Michael wanted financial support. Frank refused. Michael criticized Frank's lifestyle. Frank tried to justify himself. Michael challenged his opinions. Frank debated back. But the more they argued, the more distant they became. One day, Frank decided to take a different approach. Instead of arguing, he started demonstrating his boundaries through action. When Michael asked for money again, Frank simply said, "No, I can't do that." No explanations, no debate. When Michael criticized him, Frank smiled, remained calm, and didn't react. When Michael stopped calling out of frustration, Frank didn't chase after him. He continued living his life with joy. After a few months, something remarkable happened. Michael started calling more often. He stopped asking for money. Instead of arguing, he began asking for his father's advice. Frank didn't have to win any arguments. He regained his son's respect simply by staying calm, being firm, and leading by example. Summary: stop arguing. Start leading. If you want your child to respect you, don't try to convince them. Let your actions speak for you. The 3 golden rules. Control your emotions. Calmness is power. Stop arguing. Speak less. Act more. Live by your values. Be a role model. Try these strategies today. You'll be surprised at how your child's attitude toward you changes. Did you find this lesson helpful? Hit like and share so more parents can benefit from these valuable insights. And don't forget to subscribe to Elder Minds to stay updated with more insightful content. Part 3. Withdrawing from emotional dependence. Breaking free from emotional dependence. The silent pressure of emotional dependence. Many parents unknowingly place emotional expectations on their children. They wait for phone calls, hope for validation, and feel hurt when their children seem distant. But here's the hard truth. The more you depend on your children for emotional fulfillment, the more they pull away. Why? Because emotional dependence feels like pressure. Instead of seeing their parents as independent, strong individuals, children feel responsible for their parents' happiness, a burden that can lead to avoidance. "Why haven't you called me?" Sounds like guilt. "I only feel happy when you're around." Feels like pressure. "You never visit me anymore." Pushes them further away. Guilt and obligation do not build respect or closeness. They create distance. The key to reversing this? Emotional independence. How to regain your emotional independence. Live for yourself, not for their attention. The strongest, most respected parents are the ones who have their own life, their own joy, and their own identity beyond parenthood. Here's how you can start. Develop new interests. Rediscover what makes you happy outside of family life. Join a book club, learn a new skill, travel, or volunteer. When you have a full life, your children will be naturally drawn to your energy. Expand your social circle. Many parents become isolated as they age, relying solely on their children for connection. Instead, build friendships, join groups, and strengthen your community ties. Stop waiting for them to call. Instead of staring at your phone, waiting for a message, go out and do something fulfilling. The moment you shift your focus, you'll be surprised how often they reach out. Embrace a mindset of abundance. If you believe your happiness depends on your child's attention, you will always feel lacking. Instead, cultivate gratitude for the life you have, and your children will sense that confidence and independence. Helen's story, From Loneliness to Fulfillment. Helen, a retired librarian, used to spend her days waiting for her children to call. When they didn't, she felt hurt and unappreciated. She often thought, "Why don't they think of me?" But the more she waited, the more distant they seemed. One day, Helen decided to take control of her own happiness. She stopped waiting for phone calls and started living. She joined a painting class. She reconnected with old friends. She even started traveling to places she always wanted to see. And then, something unexpected happened. Her children started calling more often. Why? Because instead of feeling pressured to check in, they were genuinely curious about her life. Helen's transformation proved a powerful lesson. When you focus on your own happiness, your children naturally gravitate toward you. The secret to strengthening your relationship. If you want a stronger, more connected relationship with your children, remember, Stop seeking their attention. Become someone they want to connect with. Find joy in your own life, and they will be drawn to you. Emotional independence makes you more respected, admired, and valued. Try it today. Let go of expectations, invest in yourself, and watch how your relationships improve. Did you find this helpful? If so, hit like and share to help more parents find happiness in their own lives. And don't forget to subscribe to Elder Minds for more life-changing insights. Part 4. Set boundaries and stick to them. Setting boundaries and standing your ground. Why boundaries matter. Many parents hesitate to set firm boundaries with their children. They fear rejection, conflict, or the possibility of straining the relationship. But here's the truth. If you don't set limits, your children will keep pushing them. Without clear boundaries, children, no matter their age, will continue to expect more time, more financial support, more sacrifices. Not because they don't love or respect you, but because you haven't shown them where the limits are. Respect starts with you. If you don't respect your own time, energy, and well-being, why should they? The power of saying no and meaning it. Setting boundaries is not about punishment. It's about self-respect. Boundaries create healthy relationships by ensuring that both sides respect each other's needs. Here's how you can establish them effectively. Be clear and direct. Instead of hoping they get the hint, communicate your boundaries openly and confidently. Weak boundary. I don't really like it when you borrow money all the time. Strong boundary. I love you, but I will no longer be lending money. Stay firm. No guilt, no apologies. Many parents struggle with guilt after setting a boundary, but standing your ground is key. Weak response. Well, okay, just this one time. Strong response. I've made my decision, and I'm sticking to it. Be consistent. If you make exceptions, your children will keep testing your limits. Consistency earns respect. Weak approach. I said no, but I guess I'll let it slide this time. Strong approach. I love you, but my answer remains the same. Expect resistance, and don't back down. At first, your children may resist your new boundaries. They might push back, get upset, or try to make you feel guilty. That's normal. The key is to hold your ground. Over time, they will adjust and respect you more. Robert's story, from overlooked to respected. Robert, a retired businessman, spent years putting his children's needs ahead of his own. They asked for money. He gave it. They demanded his time. He dropped everything. They made decisions without him. He stayed silent. At first, Robert thought this was what being a good father meant. But then, he realized something painful. His children no longer valued his time, effort, or opinions. They expected him to always say yes, and when he finally said no, they ignored him. But then Robert made a change. Step 1. He stopped financial support. When his son asked for another loan, Robert said, I love you, but I won't be giving you any more money. You need to handle your finances. Step 2. He prioritized his own life. Instead of always waiting for his children's calls, Robert started traveling, playing golf, and reconnecting with old friends. Step 3. He spoke up. When his children dismissed his opinions, he calmly but firmly reminded them, My experience matters. I expect to be heard. At first they pushed back. They were surprised. They were frustrated. But over time, something changed. They started calling him for advice. They respected his time and boundaries. They saw him as a strong, independent person, not just dad. Robert learned a powerful lesson. Respect is earned through self-respect. How to take control of your boundaries. Today. If you want to be respected, you must start setting limits today. Decide on your non-negotiables. What will you no longer tolerate? What boundaries do you need? Communicate them clearly. Say it firmly, without guilt or over-explaining. Be consistent. No more bending your own rules. Accept that pushback is normal. Stand firm, and they will eventually adapt. Respect starts with you. If you want your children to treat you with respect, you must first treat yourself with respect. If this message resonates with you, hit like and share to help more parents reclaim their power. And don't forget to subscribe to Elder Minds for more insights on building strong, respectful relationships. Part 5. Only give when you receive appreciation. The hidden trap of unconditional giving. Many parents believe that by giving endlessly, they will earn their children's love and respect. They sacrifice their time, energy, and financial resources without hesitation, hoping for gratitude in return. But here's the hard truth. Giving without appreciation leads to entitlement, not gratitude. When generosity has no limits, it stops being a gift and becomes an expectation. Instead of feeling grateful, children may take their parents' sacrifices for granted. If you always give without expecting respect in return, don't be surprised when you stop receiving it. Give with purpose, not out of obligation. Generosity should come from a place of love, not guilt or duty. The key is to help when it is truly necessary, not because you feel pressured. Healthy giving, supporting. When there is real need, with mutual appreciation. Unhealthy giving, constantly sacrificing, even when unappreciated. Here's how you can start giving wisely. Evaluate the situation before helping. Ask yourself, is this a genuine need or just convenience for them? Have they shown gratitude for my past help? Expect respect, not just requests. Your time, money, and effort are valuable. If they don't acknowledge it, don't continue giving. Weak approach. Well, they're my kids. I guess I have to help. Strong approach. I am happy to help, but I expect appreciation and respect. Teach accountability. Always giving without limits prevents children from learning responsibility. Enabling behavior. I'll always be here to fix your mistakes. Healthy support. I will help, but you need to take responsibility. George's story. Learning to give wisely. George, a retired engineer, was always there for his children. They needed money. He gave it. They asked for favors. He dropped everything. They rarely said thank you, but he kept helping. At first, George believed this was just a father's duty, but then something painful happened. His children stopped appreciating him. They only called when they needed something. They expected him to always say yes. They never checked in just to see how he was doing. One day, George realized he wasn't being respected. He was being used. So he made a decision. Step 1. He stopped giving without appreciation. When his daughter asked for money again without even a please or thank you, George calmly said, "I'm sorry, but I won't be lending money anymore." Step 2. He set new standards. When his son only called for favors, George responded, "I would love to help, but I expect respect and appreciation in return." Step 3. He waited and watched the change. At first, his children were upset. They pushed back. They called him selfish. But over time, something amazing happened. His children started valuing his help. They expressed gratitude when he did assist. They began calling just to check in, not just for favors. George realized something powerful. Respect is not demanded. It is cultivated. When you value yourself, others will too. How to give without being taken for granted. If you want to be respected and appreciated, start following these rules today. Give because you want to, not because you feel obligated. Expect appreciation in return. If you don't receive it, stop giving. Teach responsibility. Your love should empower, not enable. Prioritize yourself. You are not just a parent, but an individual. Remember, love is not about endless sacrifice. True love includes respect, appreciation, and balance. If this message speaks to you, hit like and share to help more parents break free from the cycle of unappreciated giving. And don't forget to subscribe to Elder Minds for more powerful insights on building healthier family relationships. Part 6. Building an independent life. Outside of family. Don't make your children the center of your life. Many parents structure their entire lives around their children. They give up hobbies, let go of personal relationships, and always make themselves available, just to stay close to their kids. But here's the problem. When you don't have a life of your own, your children won't value you as much. A parent who is happy, independent, and full of life will be admired far more than one who only exists to serve the family. You don't lose your worth just because your children have grown up. Live a rich and fulfilling life, and you'll see a shift in how they treat you. Why is building your own life so important? Personal freedom. You deserve hobbies, friendships, and personal goals. Inspiring your children. When they see you living positively, they learn responsibility and independence. Reducing family pressure. If parents focus only on their children, the kids might feel suffocated and withdraw. Eleanor's story. Reclaiming her own life. Eleanor's world revolved around her children. She always waited for a call, a text, or a visit from them. But her children were busy with their own lives. They rarely called and almost never visited. She felt abandoned, but didn't want to bother them. Over time, she lost her sense of self. Then one day, Eleanor made a decision. She would no longer wait. She would live. She signed up for a dance class she had always wanted to take. She joined a book club and made new friends. She traveled and enjoyed new experiences. And something unexpected happened. Her children started calling her more often. They wanted to know what she was doing, where she was going, and who she was meeting. They felt proud of and admired their mother. Eleanor realized, when you live your own life, respect comes naturally. How to build an independent life. Find a new passion. Music, art, sports, gardening. Do something that excites you. Connect with like-minded people. Meet new friends, join clubs, and build your own community. Take care of yourself. Your physical and mental health should be a priority. Explore the world. If possible, travel and experience new things. When you love your own life, your children will love and respect you even more. Respect isn't demanded. It's earned through the way you live. Remember, stop seeking approval. Lead by action, not argument. Set clear boundaries. Build a fulfilling and independent life. You are not just a parent. You are an individual with value. Live a life worth remembering. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to Elder Minds for more meaningful content on life and aging gracefully.